Welcome to UND Sports Extra. I'm your host, Dan Hammer. On tonight's show, for the second consecutive week, UND plays a football game that is decided on the final play of the game. Head coach Bubba Schweigert joins us momentarily to talk about North Dakota's dramatic win over Portland State last weekend, UND's first conference win of the season. UND going into the bye week this coming week. Also on the show tonight, UND volleyball coach Mark Pryor. His team, the last team in the conference to suffer a loss, but UND still residing the top of the division in the Big Sky. That's all coming up here in the next half hour. Well, when this man took over as head coach of the UND football team, he said he wanted his teams to play 4-quarter games. Whew. We're getting 4-quarter games here, Bubba. Back-to-back weekends decided on the final play of the game. Congrats on the win.
Yeah, thank you. It was really important for us emotionally that we got a positive result. You know, after playing so hard the week before and disappointing loss, you know, to hold on and get the win this past week, I thought was really important for us, and just really happy for our players and our staff that we were able to enjoy a victory.
You had so many young men who rose up and made plays on a day in which you were injury-riddled going in. You suffered more in-game injuries, and quite a cast of characters that helped you get this win.
Great team win. You know, you preach that to your team, and you want everybody ready and to practice like they're going to be in the lineup, and a number of guys responded to their opportunity in a really positive way. Really happy for those guys, and once again, just a great team win.
Yeah, without a doubt. It was fun, it was dramatic, and I think some folks were taking some extra blood pressure pills late in the game. So coming up next, we'll take a look at the highlights here as North Dakota beats Portland State. That's coming up next.
UND Sports Extra on Midco Sports Network is presented by the University of North Dakota.
UND and Portland State Saturday. Let's take a look at first half highlights here, Bubba. One of the challenges against Portland State for your defense was the fact that Kieran McDonough runs the ball, and also last season they averaged more yards per pass play than any team in the nation, and so they're kind of a dual threat team here.
Yeah, they really are, and you know, I think we were concerned about that coming in. You know, we thought they were athletic up front on the offensive line, so getting pressure on them was going to be a difficult task. And you know, here we see us just blow coverage. We just didn't execute it very well, and they're in the end zone in a hurry.
Yeah, their second possession of the game at 7-0. Joel Molberg off to a great start in this football game, and 6 of 6 in this drive on this 14-play drive here.
Yeah, he was sharp early, and unfortunately didn't get to carry that out throughout the game, but off to a real good start. And you know, we're just going to take away run plays, and you got to soften him up by throwing the ball. And you see him, he's on target, and the guys are catching the ball.
Yeah, he spread the ball around well. Josh Seibel, Zach Adler getting into the act. And as you said, Joe wouldn't get to extend his day because late in the first quarter, as you were facing 3rd and 1 coming up, and it'll be the play that Joe gets nicked on and he wouldn't return from.
Yeah, you know, he took some hits early, and our job is to protect the quarterback and get rid of the ball. And unfortunately, he wasn't able to continue after this play.
It looks like he's a little woozy coming up here, even though he stayed in for 3 more plays after this play.
Yeah, I think, you know, we didn't really notice it from the sideline, and then the guys on the field noticed it a little bit. So, you know, we did the right thing and got him out, and we got to take care of our guys, and always health is the number one concern. Yeah,
Molberg, as I said, would stay in. He would complete another pass to Josh Seibel. We kind of saw some body language from the offensive lineman that, you know, something's not right with Joe here. We need to get him off the field.
Yeah, you know, I was not aware of it at the time, but our sports medicine staff was right on top of the situation, and we got him out.
Yeah. So the drive leads to a Reed Tovenheim field goal. You put points on the board. You're down 7-3. Enter Ryan Bartles. His first snaps of this entire season looked like he needed to knock off the rust here a little bit. Looked like he was a little amped up to begin with.
Yeah, I think so. And, you know, I've said this before. We've really been happy with Ryan, the way he handled the decision that we made to go with Joe as our number 1 quarterback. And he's prepared hard, and he was ready to go, but it obviously hadn't been in any game situations yet, so it's going to take some time.
Yeah, Bartles in the first half, 2 of 6 as he gets his first playing time of the year. And then Portland State will drive and put points on the board before the first half. And again, McDonough stretching the field on a team that really, when they do throw the ball, they're throwing it down the field.
Yeah, and they spread us out, you know, so when you play zone coverage, there's going to be some holes in the zone, so you either got to get to them or really tighten up those zones and get to receivers in a hurry.
This was a different challenge for you defensively than what you had particularly faced the week before against Montana. Much different beast here.
Yeah, much different, and of quarterback hurt us there on the scramble, which is always a concern in pass defense. And then we just weren't getting the pressure on them. They were throwing it pretty quick, too. But, after halftime, I thought we adjusted pretty well.
Right, so it's at the half. You're down 13-3. You've lost your starting quarterback, Joel Moberg. You've lost senior receiver, R.J. McGill. And you're finding and running up the middle with Kyle Norberg, a tough thing. So adjustments obviously were made at half.
Well, we talked about playing with more energy. I just felt we didn't have the energy to start the game defensively. And then offensively, let's be consistent and get some first downs and get something going.
Yeah, all right. We'll take a look at second half highlights, dramatic second half highlights coming up next.
UND Sports Extra on Midco Sports Network is presented by the University of North Dakota.
North Dakota trails Portland State 13-3 at the half. Bubba, let's take a look at second half highlights. And your offense got into rhythm here early in the second half.
Yeah, I thought it was really important. This changed the whole energy with our team and in the building, just to come out and drive the ball down and score in the first possession of the second half.
Yeah, Ryan Bartle's going to work, finding Josh Seibel. Again, you've lost R.J. McGill, so you're really having to spread the ball around in the passing game. Josh Seibel and Zach Adler both really contributing big time.
Yeah, both made some really good catches, and we were happy about that, to see Zach get into the offensive flow, and then Josh does a great job, getting his opportunity and has 9 catches on the day.
On this series, converting on third down was key. You converted on 3rd and 16, 3rd and 11, 3rd and 8 in this series.
Yeah, it was big. Jer making a big third down catch there and changing the field position, and then eventually getting in the end zone here, and Josh fighting his way down there to the 1, and then we finish it off here. I believe this when Ryan sneaks the ball in.
That's right. You saw the Bartles to Seibel on 3rd and 8, and then Ryan Bartles finishes off with the quarterback sneak for the touchdown. So you get within 13-10, and then Portland State's ensuing play, and your defense stands up strong here thanks to Dial Ito.
Yeah, great play by Dial. Really an athletic play. He's close there. The quarterback makes pretty athletic play to stop him.
To deflect it and then catch it.
Really is, but we played football the way you want to play it in that third quarter. We held the ball for over 11 minutes, had 2 scoring drives, and we're on the field very little on defense.
Found some running room with Jer Garman to the outside here in the second half after not doing much inside in the first half.
Yeah, he gave us a boost. Kyle started the game, and it was just tough getting the yards up the middle, and Jer came and gave us a boost.
Back-to-back touchdowns produced by your offense here in the third quarter.
Yeah, we needed that. And we were waiting for this to happen this season, and it's going to give our guys some confidence and something to build off of.
You get the help of a penalty to keep the drive going, and then Ryan Bartles will finish it off. Fine catch by Zach Adler here in the back of the end zone for the touchdown. You take the lead here.
Yeah, really good read, and Zach finding the hole in the zone and going down and getting the ball, and getting ahead is really important when you're at home.
Portland State gets a field goal, and then their punter, who is an outstanding punter, Kyle Loomis, punts it all the way to the 5, and here's Alex Tillman, 95-yard punt return that really swung the game heavily in your favor.
Yeah, big play by Alex, and he's been such a great addition to our team. And we're in a punt-safe look, but he felt like he had some room with the distance of the punt, and then our guys, get him down the sideline and lay some key blocks for him.
He thought he caught it at the 10, not the 5.
I know, and we'll get that corrected.
Hey, it's a touchdown, right?
Yeah,
24-16. Then your defense is the story the rest of the game. Late fourth quarter, Portland State gets inside the red zone. McDonough is going to run 6 yards to the 22, but then you're going to slam the door here on the next couple plays, and a big stop for your defense at this point.
Yeah, it sure is. You got to keep the lead, and we force a field goal here, I believe, and those are always big, that we can keep that 8-point lead.
Yeah, a little trickery attempt here that backfires. Brian Labatt read it well and sacks McDonough for a loss of 15 yards.
Yeah, we're seeing Brian make more and more plays,
Yep.
Tackles for loss and sacks, and we're really happy with his progression.
Yep. So your offense then goes 3 and out, short punt, long return to set up the final stages of this game, as a 27-yard punt return puts Portland State within striking distance. And talk about this final minute here, Bubba. This was crazy. You had to stop them 8 times here at the end of the game.
Yeah, a lot of plays in a short amount of time. We're disappointed with our special teams there, but our guys have had their backs against the wall, and we have a real belief that we can stop people now, and had to do it on several plays.
Yeah, it looks like you got them stopped on 4th down, but you call a timeout there, so Portland State has another opportunity, and then they would convert on 4th down here to keep their hopes alive at this point.
Yeah, we have an opportunity to stop the play, and but we don't, and now they're in there pretty tight, and now it's a little penalty and after penalty, and on both sides, and just a lot of plays in a short amount of time.
Jordan Hinojosa in on the quarterback, but it's offsides on North Dakota, and then it's 3rd and goal at the 8, and you make another stop here only to have it nullified by an offsides call. So you're asking your defense is having to make stop after stop after stop.
Yeah, and we got to stay focused in that situation. So you put yourself behind the 8 ball a little bit, time and time again when you have penalties, but able to close it out here. Great play by Dial.
Without a doubt, it's 4th and goal from the 4. Surprised a bit at the running play there that Portland called, and Dial Ito being able to recover and make that stop.
Yeah, we were surprised, but our guys had tightened up the coverage on the pass, and I'm sure they had gotten some yards on the ground and went back to their kind of base play and thought they could pop one in there.
You win the football game on the final play of the game, 24-16 the final. Ryan Bartles had a very productive afternoon. Alex Tillman was big in the return game, and Dial Ito leading you defensively with that key interception, and of course the stop at the end of the game. Here's your players leaving the Alara Center on a high note this week.
I was trying to block out the clock, block out everything. Just, what do I have? I got the bag. I'm just trying to do my job. And it's hard in that moment, the heat of the moment, to focus and be assignment sharp. But our coach really emphasized, hey, if they do this, you got this, you do that, they do that. But it was just crazy, and they had a heck of a play call at the end. And we just got lucky with one.
They were a tough team. They were physical. They played hard. It was definitely some ups and downs in the game. But I wouldn't have it any other way. We love the tough games.
The first half, my mind was racing a little bit. Simple run checks. I was kind of stopping me a little bit. But once we got to that halftime, I got to talk to the guys. They were behind me, and we went out there and we just basically performed how we practiced.
I'm really proud of Ryan Bartles. He stepped up when his number was called. He made some plays, and Coach Schweigert talks about that. When your number's called upon, you got to make plays. So really proud of him.
He did a good job preparing all week, and he knew what he was supposed to do. So when he came in, he had the good idea of what was going on, and just helped the team.
All right, Bubba, how good is it for your football team to get over that next hurdle, and that is to get a conference win? You go into the bye week here, but leave with a good feeling and a win in your back pocket.
Yeah, all week we talked about it as a staff. We felt it was important for us to get a positive result. We shared that with the team, that our preparation is what we need to focus on. And we felt if we focused and prepared well, we had a good opportunity to get a win at home.
You'll be back on the field October 25th. In between now and then, if Joel Moberg is healthy, is he your starter on October 25th?
Yeah, we've been clear on that. Joe's our starting quarterback, and we got to have Ryan ready to go, and everybody's got to be ready that's in a backup role, and because you never know when your number's called upon you. And we hope Joe recovers. He's got some recovery time here. The open week comes at a good time for him.
All right, Josh Seibel. Not many in your fan base were aware of Josh Seibel before Saturday. Where'd he come from? And it looks like he's a guy that can be a reliable possession type of receiver for you.
Well, he's a Bismarck High product. Comes from a really good program. And this past summer, Josh had a big year in Legion baseball. He wanted to go back home and play one more time. He's walked onto our program. He was as a receiver early in his career here. We moved him to defensive back in the spring. Now he's back at receiver, and great to see him produce when he got an opportunity.
So he was defensive back this past spring.
Yes, and he started this fall at defensive back. We moved him about a month ago.
He's a battler. His second effort Saturday was really impressive.
Yeah, really good competitor. He competed in 3 different sports in high school, played basketball, ran track, and he really shows that competitive spirit on the field.
Yeah, you're nicked up. You need the bye week to recover, and you've lost some guys for the rest of the season here. So how do you approach this next week and a half before your next game?
Well, we need to stay sharp. So we're going to practice a couple times, and our coaches will be out on the road recruiting and that. But we need to stay sharp and practice. But we got to be smart and take care of our team. And this is a recovery week. We talked to our guys that we're open. We are not off. So we still have things that we need to get done. It's another great week to get caught up on some academic work, and it'll be a little bit slower for the guys, and it does come at a good time for us.
Yeah. All right, Bubba. The week off, you're back on the game field October 25th, and we're back next week to talk about the bye week and also returning to Big Sky Conference play. Coming up next, UND volleyball coach Mark Pryor joins the show as UND will host Portland State this coming Thursday. It's a matchup of last year's regular season co-champions.
UND Sports Extra on Midco Sports Network is presented by the University of North Dakota.
The UND volleyball team sits atop the North Division of the Big Sky with a 5-1 record. Head coach Mark Pryor returns. Good to be back with you again, Coach.
Good to see you guys.
Good to be back with you. Since we last left you, you've maintained your lead atop the North Division. You're approaching the halfway point of the Big Sky Conference schedule. How's this race developing as you take a look at the overall conference with your 5-1, Northern Arizona 5-1, and Idaho State 5-1?
Really what it's going to come down to is who's going to be able to protect home floor, because there are some ridiculous upsets on the road. We talk about that we have 11 opponents in the conference. The 12th opponent that no one talks about is the travel. And especially for us as we're located where we are compared to a lot of the other schools, there's no bus trips. So we're getting on a plane every time. So being able to protect home court, I think, is really going to be able to help us out. And then we've got to steal wins on the road. And, we've gotten a couple of them, but we're going to have to get a couple more.
You're coming off a road trip in which you split this past weekend, defeating Weber State convincingly, sweeping Weber State before Idaho State handed your first Big Sky Conference loss. Big week coming up for you now. Thursday night, Portland State, matchup of the two regular season co-champs a year ago, and then Northern Colorado this weekend. You go to Northern Colorado.
It is. It's one of those things you look at last week. It was the best of times. It was the worst of times. Played really well and then didn't play so well on Saturday. With this week, Portland State has been very, very good at home. They've struggled a little on the road. They've got a lot of new, younger kids. So it'll be interesting to see how they do in our environment. Hopefully, we're able to kind of accept the challenge, play well. I know the kids are excited to be home. I know I am. And then going to Northern Colorado, they're streaky. They beat Idaho State. They stole that road win. But then they end up dropping one the next night that is kind of makes you question a little bit.
Right.
But they're very good at home. They're healthy. They dropped two matches early on in the season. They had their best middle was out. She's back now, which, of course, when we play them, she's going to be back. That's just always how it works.
Just for you.
Yeah, absolutely. But we want to play teams when they're at their best. That's when, that's we want no excuses. We're going to play hard.
All right, since we last had you on the show, a couple things personnel-wise. Nikki Husfeldt has set the UND career assist record, and as we know, you look at her as just a complete solid rock in your lineup, match in and match out, right?
It is. It's one of those things we kind of joke with her about it. We're like, hey, you've got the record. You can probably put this out of reach. And then I look over at Sydney Griffin, hey, best of luck to you. And she's like, oh, great. But what Nikki's done is, what really helped her out is that first year where she kind of got a red shirt year back. So she got about 9 matches in to really help her out. But what she's done for us is she's given us just some stability. And she doesn't try to be flashy. She doesn't try to do too much. She plays within herself. And that's really allowed everybody else at times just to play calm. Just to play calm and confident. And it's helped.
We're 23 matches into the season. Faith Dooley continues to produce as a true freshman from Wheatland, North Dakota, leading the conference in blocks, among the league leaders in hitting percentage. She's proven herself within the league to this point.
There's no doubt. We knew when Faith pretty much stepped on campus that she was going to be able to do some things just because when you look at her, she has a physical presence. But she's a blue-collar kid from North Dakota.
She holding up well?
She is, so far. But this is the time of the year when, bodies kind of wear down a little bit. That hasn't happened. When you look at our two Class B North Dakota kids, they're number 1 in the conference in blocks.
Mackenzie Hart.
Kenzie's number 2 in the conference in digs. So it's really nice to see those small-town kids doing well for us.
All right, good luck this weekend. Portland State Thursday night. We'll have that for you live. Well, not for you because you'll be at the match. We'll have it for you live on Midco Sports Network and then off to Northern Colorado on Saturday. And we'll be back with you next week to preview another important week coming up next week.
Absolutely.
How's that sound?
Thank you.
All right, Coach, thanks for your time. We'll wrap it up next year on UND Sports Extra.
UND Sports Extra on Midco Sports Network is presented by the University of North Dakota.
We're serving up Big Sky Volleyball this Thursday night here on Midco Sports Network. North Dakota and Portland State. You can catch it at 7 o'clock as UND again resides atop the North Division standings in the Big Sky Conference. That's it for this week. Stay tuned. North Dakota Hockey with Dave Haxtell is next here on Midco Sports Network.